Okay, can I be frank?
Why are there so many monkey memes? In a culture that consumes content so fast and memes die faster each time, how can they have such longevity? They are not the only long-lived memes, of course, but there is something about them that makes them unique. I tried to find the reason behind this, but I couldn't really find anything. However, after contemplating the matter on the toilet, I think I've come to a real conclusion as to why are they so special. Because despite not being the only animals to become memes, something about them is just different. Cats and dogs have a lot of meme potential, but monkeys have something they don't. They are relatable. And in this video, I will show you why. To understand why are there monkey memes in the first place, we have to understand how this humor works. Yeah, it's not the first time somebody tries to explain this, but you will see how it connects to monkeys. So first off, the big elephant in the room, this is not millennial humor, this is Gen Z. It's important to make this difference clear because the way millennials and Gen Zs grew up is not the same in many ways. Among the many differences between the two generations is technology. By the time millennials were growing up, things like the internet or digital media distribution were first coming out. But by the time Gen Zs were growing up, the entire digital revolution had already happened. And that makes us digital natives, which means that we didn't have to adapt to digital media. We grew up in it. In other words, millennials grew up learning to use technology, whereas Gen Zs grew up with technology. But why am I even saying this? What does it have to do with monkeys? Well, I have the theory that this ease we have to online content may have caused something that already happened in history. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, an artistic movement called modernism arose. You see, medieval paintings are not remembered as the best we have done. They were not particularly bright in any aspect. But in the age of the Renaissance, all of that changed. New techniques allowed artists to create something far more professional. The way they were able to manipulate color, shapes, and lighting was just unmatched, and emerging artistic movements perfected these techniques, to the point where they became canonical. These techniques were now the rules. And over time, paintings became more sophisticated and detailed. But eventually, after following the same rules for so long, the peak was reached. They were at the limit of their capabilities. Every emerging genre consisted of simply using the same norms and taking them to new extremes. Plastic arts didn't evolve for a long time. And that's where modernism came into play. A group of painters of the time got sick of the same thing for so long and came to the conclusion that those techniques were obsolete. They just grew up staring at the same paintings and being told time after time that this was the only way to create art. And in the move of counterculture, they decided to create something entirely new. Also known as modern art, or more recently avant-garde, it was characterized by breaking the rules and defying the traditional techniques of paintings. And paintings were not the only things that changed. In architecture, for example, we went from something like this to this. And this revolution was so influential that it still inspires us today. But then again, what does any of this has to do with memes? Well, the internet, among many things, can be a perfect time capsule. In here, you can find content from every age. And like I said, Gen Zs have a particular ease for technology. So we have seen every type of humor, from the most primitive to the most recent. We have seen what made our grandparents, parents, and older brothers laugh. And unconsciously, we have noticed that they all follow the same pattern. It's a structure that every joke follows, no matter what. It consists on three elements that in the world of comedy are known as a rule of three: setup, delivery, and punchline. In the setup, a situation is established. In delivery, the story goes on a predictable situation, and in the punchline, the story takes an unexpected turn. This last element is the one that makes people laugh. Now, let's take a look at two examples of comedy and see how they work. Now let's take a look at something more recent.
Before we really get going, I feel like there's something I need to address. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm toothless. So, that's right. Think about the one tooth you'd least want to be missing. And I don't have that one. So, I'm just a grown man without the most prominent tooth in my mouth. It's tough. It's a tough look. I know, there's no plan either. This is just it for a while. I don't know. I know I look ridiculous, but it's the only heroic thing I've ever done. I witnessed an assault happening on the train. I know, and I stepped in and got the shit kicked out of me. Except actually what happened is I bit into a chicken wing too hard, but that can't be my story, right?
Now let's watch it again, but we are going to identify the elements. Setup. A man is being chased by the police. Delivery. Two officers are about to get him. Punchline. They both miss and hit each other.
Before we really get going, I feel like there's something I need to address. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm toothless. So,
Setup. A man is toothless.
I witnessed an assault happening on the train. I know, and I stepped in and got the shit kicked out of me.
Delivery. He lost his tooth in a fight.
Except actually what happened is I bit into a chicken wing too hard, but...
Punchline. He actually lost it eating. As you can see, in both the 1910s and 2010s, the structure hasn't changed. 100 years apart, and despite evolving, they are still the same. Setup, delivery, punchline. 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 Setup, delivery, punchline.
Setup, delivery, punchline. Setup, delivery, punchline. Setup, delivery, punchline. Setup, delivery, punchline. Setup, delivery, punchline. Setup, delivery, punchline.
And now, we are breaking the rules.
Drop the drum!
It's okay, nigga. I got the
Pizza here!
big card.
My
Krispy Kreme.
This nigga really think he's
Kanye West.
Gen Z humor is breaking the rules by lacking patterns. For example, let's take a look at this. If we analyze this meme, we can see that it starts with the setup and then jumps to the punchline. In some cases, the setup is so short that it feels like it's only the punchline.
Fine, I guess.
And she get me. Fuck around and buy her a wedding ring. I'm off some drugs, I swear I be hearing things. Fingers they hard.
In other cases, the joke is funny because it lacks a punchline, which is what traditionally makes a joke funny.
Man, I want me a hot pocket.
Thanks, Granddad. Granddad, what do you do when you can't do nothing, but there's nothing you can do?
Where is he? He's in Paris?
And in the case of 21st century humor, I think it's pure punchline.
I want me a nigga.
Big black. I like to skip it up. White people be like,
That's why your mom.
this is a smack.
Just like modernism in the late 1800s, we rejected the established and created something new. We got sick of the same thing for too long and started experimenting with alternative techniques. We are rejecting complexity and going back to the most basic. Does that sound familiar to you? Reject humanity, return to monkey is the best way to describe our humor. It might look meaningless at first, but with context we understand why it resonates so much. But why monkeys, you may ask? Why not dogs? Well, it's simple. Monkeys are our closest relatives in the animal kingdom. Not only they look like us, they behave like us. Many psychological experiments tested on monkeys have the same result on humans, which means that they have our looks and our behavior. They are a simpler version of ourselves, less sophisticated, more primitive. And that's exactly what our humor is looking for. That is why we are obsessed with monkeys. And that is why monkey memes are so popular.
First, followed by nigger. Extra.
White people be like,
Come, my fight, in that order.
Well everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this new type of content I will be uploading. You can like the video, subscribe. I would really appreciate the support, and I guess I'll see you next time.
5-car garage, full tank of the gas, but that don't mean nothing without you, shotgun in the passenger. I'm the loneliest man alive, but I keep on dancing and throw 'em off. I'm gonna run out of moves, cause I can glue to the blues. If you know any DJs, tell them to call me at 911.